So, why use films to make these points? Why not just explain it in a theoretical book? I mean, I think the theoretical books are valuable and necessary, but I found, in my own case at least, that when I was going through these changes, my mind, my intellect was compromised. I couldn't think clearly. If you're experiencing a death of some sort, if you're being overrun by an instinct or a drive or passion or something like that, then it's quite hard to retain one's balance and think clearly. But I found that what I could do, even if my rational mind wasn't working very well, I could call to mind particular images and films, and they seemed somehow to speak to what I was actually going through. And similarly, when I was going through my own transformation, I discovered the Gospel of Thomas, which is, again, a book that Campbell has quoted from. Discovered, I think, in about the 4th century after Christ. They dug it up in the Middle East, the Nag Hammadi library. It's like a Gnostic version of the Gospel text. It's different from the other Gospels, the Synoptic Gospels, and it's just the teachings of Jesus. There's no narrative. There's no virgin birth or anything like that. It's just the teachings of Jesus, supposedly. And it's deeply symbolic. So there's one Logian, one parable about to do with a lion, and I think it goes, happy is the lion, happy is the man who the lion shall eat, and the lion shall become man. No, I've got that wrong. Happy is the man who shall eat the lion, and the lion shall become man. Abomination is the man who the lion shall eat, and the lion shall become man. And the lion is this instinctual power that's been repressed during the emergence of ego consciousness. And one way or another, that power within us, which is both spiritual and instinctual, is going to come to the surface, is going to be expressed. But if the lion eats the man, then that can be like an instinctual possession. We can be devoured by whatever it is in us that we're not expressing. But if the man, the person, can come to terms with this power symbolized by the lion and eat the lion, then that's, that power can be assimilated, and with the preservation of a fully human life, we can keep our integrity and yet still deal with the unconscious. So both those things, the Gospel of Thomas and mythic images, really for me were very accessible and helped give me orientation in a way that I just couldn't get from books. I couldn't read, I couldn't think. So that was one of my motivations in writing this book. That people would, everyone knows these scenes from Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or The Matrix or whatever it might be. So they're easy to call to mind. They're like a set of cultural reference points that we can draw on if we know how to see them in terms of this psychological crisis rather than a literal hero's journey battling external forces. I don't think the deeper message of those films is to do with that. I think, like Campbell said, that these things point to psychological realities. So, I was going to give more examples, but I need to move on to the other book. But basically, I use examples from film, and I use not just popular film, but Federico Fellini. I think he's really good, the Italian director in the 60s, like 8½, La Dolce Vita. There's great symbolic material in there. And I weave in some classical myth and also Christian teaching as well. So that's the book on the hero's journey. This book, this came out this year, 2013, and this book, The Archetypal Cosmos, I wrote over about 10, 11 years, but it came out in 2010 or 2011. And this book is on archetypal astrology, which is my other main focus alongside individuation and the hero's journey.